welcome back. We've got a bit of wiring to do on the Escort today. I've got, if you watch some of the previous videos, you know I've had issues with the indicators for a while, mainly to do with the stretchy curly cord that's in the on the loom up to the buttons on the steering wheel. So I'm going to be getting rid of all the buttons on the steering wheel and fitting a universal stalk, so I'll be able to use that for main beam, indicators, wash wipe and horn. So get rid of all the buttons off the steering wheel, so it eliminates that curly cord then, so hopefully we won't have any issues. So we'll get stuck into that. So this is what I'm going to be replacing it with. I bought this from Car Builder Solutions online. It's 25 quid with the postage. So we've got indicators, main beam, and then horn on the end, and I think it's a flash function supposed to be, because my wiper controls are are in the center console switch panel anyway. So that's my wipers there, 2 speeds on that. So I may just put another button somewhere. I'm not really sure yet. I'm not sure if it's an MOT requirement to be able to flash your headlights, but it doesn't have a flash at the moment. It's just on and off with the momentary button on the steering wheel, so it didn't have any issues on the MOT, to be fair. So yeah, I think I'll probably end up just having that as the wash wipe function, and then push for main beam, obviously left and right indicators, and horn. So got a wiring diagram for it, so it should be pretty straightforward. The only issue I've got that I've just noticed is this is for a 45mm column. Mine's just under 43, so I've already shaved a little bit off the brackets there, and I've tried it. It's still a little bit loose, so I just need to file a little bit more off there just to get it to clamp tight on the column. I've been busy doing these as well. I've picked up some cheap wheels and I've had them sandblasted, and the body shop next door has painted them for me. So I had the paint left over from the inside of the Escort, but there wasn't enough, so I've added some leftover bits of greys and blacks and stuff to it so we could make a bit more paint, and it's quite a nice colour, to be fair. There we go, it's clamped on. Looks alright, can reach it fine, sat down, strapped in, so should do the job. Just get it wired in now. Right, steering wheel off. First job now, strip the loom back here, label up which wire does what on this, because the other side of these plugs is obviously on the loom of my car, so I'm going to need to cut into these here, cut the plugs off the new stalk, and then splice them together here so that I can keep these connectors. So just need to label up which wire does what from these buttons on the steering wheel. Alright, that's all them stripped back and labelled now, so I need to measure the length that I need the loom on this new stalk, and then get soldered them together. Got a load of holes in my steering wheel now, so I'm going to have to get a new steering wheel at some point, but it should be alright for now. Alright, back out in the garage this morning. It's Sunday morning and it's 6:15. Clocks have gone back and my daughter was wide awake at like 4:30 this morning, so thought I may as well come out and get stuck into this wiring. So need to measure the length of the new stalk, wherever it's gone there. So need to get this bolted on, measure the length, cut it to length, and then get the wiring diagram up and then get soldering. Alright, we're pretty much done now. I've got everything working. Got some spare wires. I haven't been able to use the flash function for the wash wipe like I was planning to. I've got the car wired so that the main beam, the side lights and dip beam are on a dial switch, 2-stage dial switch. So basically I wanted to have dip and main beam on together. They're on relayed separately on separate switches, so this is just turning the main beam on and off basically. Yeah, so there's 2 spare wires for the wash wipe. They'll just stay in there for future if I ever need them for anything. And I've got another 2 spare that were from the original main beam switch, because it had an LED on the switch. The guy that did my wiring loom, I don't know why, he put 2 wires up to that for the main beam as an indicator light. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to strip back on the yellow, whatever it is, strip back on this, and I'll solder in a separate wire that'll come out, and then when it's in the car I can fit a little blue warning light in the dash. And I think I just need to put the other side of the light to earth, so that'll be the main beam out 12 volts, so that'll light up the warning light, the indicator light then on the dash for the main beam. So just get that done now, and then we should be pretty much good to go. Alright, we're all up and running now. Well, sort of. Got horn, right indicator, no left indicator. I've tested all the wiring. There's power coming up through the switch and going back down. The relay's working. I've got a problem with the switch, hazard switch. The hazards are working, all 4 corners are flashing. I tried a different switch and it's the same. Was it the same? No, I haven't got any indicators with this switch. So I think I've got two dodgy switches. Hazards work with this one, but neither of the indicators. So I have to order a new switch. Not really sure why they keep breaking, but maybe they're just cheap crap. They're just Land Rover hazard switches. Yeah, so hopefully that new switch should sort the left indicator. Main beam, that works. I haven't bothered wiring the flash in because you can just do that if you wanted to flash your lights, so it's not really something that is needed. I've wired the dip. So the way that this main beam switch works, like all others, you have 12 volts in and then out to dip and main beam. So I've wired the dip wire onto one of the spares. So that's going back down into the fuse box somewhere. Don't know where that's going. I've tested the wire going down. There's no power coming up when anything's turned on, so it's either going to earth or it's just spare in the loom somewhere. So if in future I ever want to wire it so that when I turn main beam off, the dip will, I can have dip and main beam separate, whereas at the moment I have to turn that side lights, dip beam on, and then main beam separate. I shouldn't have a problem with that. And I've also put this in now, so that's just a trigger wire from the main beam out wire, so I can get another light to go in there. I'll get a blue light to go above the oil switch light, and yeah, that's indicator charge light. Yeah, I just need a main beam light to go in there, so then I can connect that up to that, so I'll have a main beam indicator light then. So yeah, I just need to get a hazard switch, and I'd like to try and find where this dip beam wire is going in the loom down here, just to wrap it up and label it just if ever I need it. So get a switch ordered and a blue light, and then we shouldn't be far off. Okay, so I've had a bit of a change of plan with the old dip switch wiring. I thought it'd be best if I added a switch. I've got a second switch in there to allow me to differentiate between whether I want the dip switch to turn the main beam on and off, as well as keeping the dip beam on. So if I turn that one way, it'll work as it should for the road. So when the main beam comes on, the dip will go out. If I turn the switch the other way, the dip will stay on permanently, and this dip switch will just turn main beam on and off, which is what I want for rallying, so I can get the best light. Whether I'll have issues with bulbs overheating or headlamp lenses melting or whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So so I've rewired it anyway, so I ended up using that dip wire that I connected through, so that was good. So I've put this switch in now and changed the wiring around to suit that. So let's just double check it's all working. So we've got dip on, no, main beam, yeah, so it's quite handy. I've wired it with one of these switches. It's got a light, so it'll tell me if it's when the light's on, it means that dip will stay on all the time. Probably can't really differentiate between the two on the camera there. And then with it turned off, dip will extinguish when the main beam comes on and vice versa. So that's all road legal that way. And this little button's the nitrous oxide button. No, not really. It's that'll be the wash white button. I'm in the process of wiring that in at the moment. So because I've switched the wiring around now and put this secondary switch in there, it means that I can't have the sort of permanent live feed like I had before to be able to flash my lights. So I will actually wire in the proper flash function now, so I can flash the headlights without having any of the lights on, because at the moment the only way that I'll be able to flash the lights is if I've actually got the headlights turned on. So I'm gonna take an ignition live up and make use of that headlight flash function. Okay, I'm back on the Stalk wiring now, doing the permanent live for the flash function. So I've tested in the car, I've done a connection in the fuse box, and I've got ignition live coming up that wire. These are the two wires for the flash. So that yellow that I've cut there is the feed the main beam out. That's where there's two wires on it. One's the blue wire that I'm going to put, that I said earlier I'll be put into the indicator lamp. So I need to get that one connected into the yellow, and then I need to extend that one down to there. So let's get on with that. Okay, hopefully that's it's all sorted now. It's probably like the third time I've taped it up now. Probably should have checked everything was working again before I taped it, but I got confidence this time. I pretty much with wiring, I've never really been taught how to do it. I just tend to learn as I go along and make it up as I go along. So one thing that's helped me a lot is having a multimeter. I don't really know how to use half the functions on it, but I use it for testing for power and continuity, I think it's called, when you test, like when you got a bunch of wires. Like up here I tested a pin there and found the wire down there, and it beeps when you're on the right wire, so that's come in handy. I should probably learn how to use it for other things as well, but We're getting there, so let's get this stalk back in there and see where we're at. Hopefully we'll have some flashing. See if this works. Should be. Happy days. Alright, let's get this wash wipe button sorted out, and then we're pretty much done. We're just waiting for the new hazard switch to come and my blue warning light to indicator light there for the main beam. And then just need to tidy up this again. It was all bunched together nicely and zip tied up and stuff, but these relays have all got Velcro on the back of them, and they stick on the back of the panel that's on there, so they hold them all so it doesn't all flap around. So I do have another little job I need to do after that as well. Actually, I need to put a digital clock up on the dash there. I wired it for, well, I say I did it. The bloke who did my wiring loom wired it so that it's got a switch for the clock and there's power, but I've ended up putting a little USB socket. I don't know if you can see it, it's up there where the heater vent used to be. So I might just take the power out the back of that and put the clock up there next to it. So I'll do that next. Alright, we're pretty much finished now then, apart from this, still waiting for the hazard switch and the blue light for the main beam indicator, but I've got the ignition's already on. I've got the wash wipe working now, although I've got an issue with the park that's on the motor itself, but I probably won't bother fixing that, to be honest. So just park the wipers manually like that for now. So everything's working. Just need to put it all back together now, tidy everything up, run this loom all on the column properly, but need to get that light in the dash first so I can cut this to length and make the earth cable for it. So just waiting on the switch and the light now, and then we'll be finished. I've got to get a new clock for over there. I did have one, but somehow it's managed to get brake fluid spilt on it, so that's not working. I've just tested that, it's not working. But what I might try and do is wire it into a USB cable, and then I can just plug it in to the USB socket that's up there, rather than tap into the wiring on the back. I can just plug it in on the front. It's a dual socket, so I'll still have the second USB socket there for charging the co-driver's phone or whatever, really. So that's the plan, and I'll probably put the clock on sticky back Velcro so it can just be taken in and out. If a co-driver's got his own GPS Monet or whatever, any device, we can just swap it in and out on the Velcro then. So that's the plan. Just need to get a new one. Postman's bin, got a new hazard switch and a blue light now for the main beam indicator. So there's the last two pieces of the puzzle to get everything finished. Alright, the hazard switch is in. Got the light just hooked up. I think it just needs earth on the end, so let's turn it on and check it's working. Alright, that's main beam on. There we go. It's not very blue, it's more like green, but should do the job. So we need to get a proper connector on the end of that, drill a hole in the dash, and I better check the hazards are working. Check the indicators. It's a good start because that one wasn't working before. Happy days. It's a bit of a joke though that hazard switch cost 20 quid. And this whole Stalk assembly was only £23 plus postage. But there we go, hopefully that one will last a bit longer. So let's get this finished up now and put it all back together. Right then, let's just double check it's all working. I know technically you should probably have a separate indicator light for the indicators, but it doesn't really need it. Main beam, yeah. I quite like how it's not actually that bright, so when you are actually driving in the dark, it's not going to be blinding you. Like if it was as bright as these other warning lights right in your face trying to drive and rally in the dark, it'd probably do your head in, so that works quite good. Happy with that. Right, just need to get all the rest of this all tidied away, put all the fuse box and everything back together, and get the hoover in here. Okay, that's job finished. All the wiring's done, back together, clean the car out. I've got the dash out at the moment. I'm doing a bit of re-engineering on that. I did have it, I had it wired straight into the ECU on one cable, but the issue with that I had was I couldn't charge it at the same time, and I tried a few different configurations of wires, different adapters and leads and splitters and stuff, and nothing seemed to work. We figured out that it needs an on-the-go adapter, I think it's called, to come from the mini USB port in the tablet, and that doesn't let, when that's sending data, I don't think it would let us send power the opposite way, or it sends power from the device back down to power up the FTDI chip in the lead from the RS232 plug. So what I'm going to do with that, I've ordered a Bluetooth transmitter for the ECU, and that plugs straight into the ECU, and then I can connect the tablet via Bluetooth, and then I can just have the tablet permanently charging via the USB socket. And then plan B, if that fails, I think I'm just going to take the tablet apart and try and hardwire 12 volts into the battery, or maybe even remove the battery altogether. So that's the plan with the dash. I said that I was going to fit a clock over there. Well, I'm just waiting for that to turn up at the moment. I've been in touch with the Basic Roma company, and they're supplying me with the rally clock. So there'll be a separate video all about that. I'll probably fit it and do a bit of a review. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. I think that's about it really. Obviously I've just wrapped some tape around the steering wheel for now to cover where the holes were, so that'll be fine for now. And that takes me on to the next thing as well. The steering wheel won't be on there for long because that'll probably be getting used on my next project. I'm going to pick up a new car on Tuesday, so I wonder if anyone can guess what that car's going to be. It's going to be built for rallying. I'm going to do a budget build. It's not an old Ford, I'll give you that clue, and it's only got 2 seats. So the plan is to build that on a budget for rallying anyway. Bit of a winter project. Not that I've not got anything else to do over winter, because I've got to build an extension on the back side of this garage, like a lean-to, and enclose the sides for my missus to work in, because at the moment she's working here on this rug. She does reupholstery, covering things like this, and all sorts of chairs and cushions, and it's a bit dirty in here for us, so that's the plan, starting next month probably, to get a load of timber in. There's a concrete pad outside there, but I'll probably document all that. I'll do a series about that, and there'll be a series about the new project as well, so it's not going to be the end of the Escort. There'll still be plenty of videos on the Escort. There's always stuff to do on that, and I'll try and mix it up a bit, do a video about the garage extension, do one on the new project, one on the Escort, try and mix and match them up a bit to keep all the different people happy that are subscribed. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you want to have a guess what the next project car is going to be, then let me know in the comments what you think it's going to be, and we'll see who guesses right. See you on the next one.